Hello, hi, hola, bonjour, mei hao, mei hao. Today is Thursday, May 17th. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just getting ready to take a nap. We spent the morning and the afternoon visiting local churches here in Dajau. We went, local is a relative term. We drove for about 2 hours and we went to a rural church that has been moved into a village. Some of the people who joined us this morning, they walked like 2 hours to get to church, and a majority of them were elderly. They were elderly. There was one man that I noticed in particular. He was, I'm sure he was over 4 feet tall, but he was so hunched over, and he had to kind of shuffle. And so, but he always had a smile on his face, and he was singing, and they gave us amazing, warm greetings, and they were so excited to, share this time with us Westerners. After we were there, and they sang and prayed, and uh, they sang a song of blessing to us, and we returned the favor by giving them a blessing and sharing that fairly generic. Um, we hope that they have health and good family, and that their farming goes well. I believe are the three things. And we also went for lunch with them. And these were my favorite people to go to lunch with because there was some crazy stuff on that table. And I mean crazy. Like there was like sea cucumber and I think eel, and there was deep fried squid again, and um, chicken feet, but this time they had been boiled in this sauce, so they were squishy and soft outside of the bones. Um, but they, our host sat at the other table with some of the church leaders, and we sat with some of the local pastors. So none of them could speak English, but they were super quick to. They were super gracious, and they caught on really quickly that we were Westerners who weren't used to eating things like chicken feet, and they quickly shifted the plates around, and they warned us using hand signals and facial expressions if the stuff was hot or if it was really gross and we wouldn't like it. And they showed us how to eat the chicken feet. And I tried sea cucumber. It was not my favorite experience, but I tried it. Yeah, it was a really great experience. One really interesting thing that happened was an older lady in the church. She was an elder in the church. She asked if she could take us sightseeing, and we said sure. So she starts walking down the street with us, and then it didn't take very long to realize that we were the sights, and she was kind of showing off her new Westerner friends to the people, to the locals. So she would be yelling at them, and I guess our host was telling us, he translated for us, and he was saying, no, she's telling them that these are her friends from the West. So she was quite proud to know us and be able to show that she knew us and that we were her friends. Um, so it just shows, I thought that gave an interesting perspective. Something that we take for granted, I think, in the West is our anonymity. We crave attention, but we appreciate our anonymity. And here, everywhere we went, we were stared at, and people called their coworkers or their families to come to the front, to the sidewalks, to see the white people. So that was interesting. And a few of the people commented that my skin is white as milk, which I'll take as a compliment. Don't know how they actually intended it. Um, anyway, so it was an interesting experience today. And after that, we went to a more of a town church, still quite small. About 200 people go there, and it was in like the third floor or second floor of this building that had all sorts of stuff in it. Like there was a restaurant on one of the floors, and I think a store. But we went and we sang a lot. They asked us to bless them with an English song, so I got to introduce Jesus Loves Me. Told them that it was something we teach our children when they're small in Sunday school, and that we keep singing it as we grow old. And they knew the words in Mandarin, which was great. So we sang in English, they sang in Mandarin or a version of Mandarin. A lot of them used the local dialect to the point that our host couldn't even understand them because his first language is Cantonese. So yeah, it was a great experience. It's a great experience. A couple quick observations. It was very interesting to see the Western influences in the church. The second church we went to visit had a piano, which was great. So they had a little bit more, and they decorated with Christmas trees that were lit up at the front of the church, and they had big flowers everywhere. Some of them looked very Chinese. Some of them looked like they were straight out of my grandma's living room, only dustier. So it was interesting. It was really interesting. So yeah. On that note, I'm going to go sleep. We are going to go out for a supper in a couple hours. So I'm going to sleep, and then we'll be meeting up with our hosts again. And then we have a free evening, so I'm probably going to come back and go to sleep again. So on this beautiful sunny day, I'm going to shut the blinds and enjoy some rest and some peace and some calm. So bye bye from Daju.